Welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Jay and Hater Podcast.
Yes, welcome back. How you feeling, baby?
Hey, man, I just want to say I missed y'all.
Right. It's been a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, man, but we always, we always gonna come back for sure.
Always gonna come back.
So, man, how you been?
Been good. I've been good. I don't know, lately, I haven't really had as much motivation as in my extracurriculars that I usually do.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's because of the weather, because everybody was freaking out because they thought we were going to get snowed again in part 2.
Again.
But I mean, today was actually okay.
It's pretty all right.
Yeah, so I think we'll be okay by the weekend. But I'm good. How about you?
I'm like you, man. I feel like I've been needing some pep.
Right.
Like
I'm missing pep.
I just been needing some pep.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Other than that, man, everything been straight.
Okay.
So what's you been watching? What have you been watching?
Man, I don't know if you guys have checked out Abbott Elementary by Quinta Brunson, but that show it's funny because the first episode I was like, it's all right. Now
I didn't want to like it. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't want to like it.
I'm in love. So watching that, watching Keenan, watching Supermarket Sweep with Leslie Jones.
Les Dog.
And I don't know, when I was a kid, I loved watching Supermarket Sweep, but to see Leslie Jones as the host, so she kind of gives it that little extra.
I'm gonna tell you,
it's so good.
I'm glad. I'm not saying that they toned her down from the first season, but I'm glad they fixed their audio issues because she's still screaming.
She is a strong black woman with a strong voice.
It's not annoying as it was.
It's not annoying, but I don't know. I love it because it's like when I was younger, I would watch some of these same types of shows and wouldn't really see. Happy Black History Month, everybody. Wouldn't really see anyone that looked like me, that talked like me.
Especially as a host.
Right, as a host. And now it's kind of bittersweet because at first I was like, they're trying to capitalize on black people right now because Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, but black is the new anything right now.
But being able to watch some of my favorite shows or watching like little sitcoms or little scripted shows that show people looking just like me saying things that we say
that we would normally say, not something that
jokes that are actually funny, a different type of funny for us because we know someone like that. I don't know. It's just a good time right now. So
I like it, man.
Those are the shows that I'm watching.
Especially that what did you call it? Abbott Elementary.
Abbott Elementary. Yes.
And my girl Shirley Ralph is on there. Boy, hey,
girlfriend D.
Yeah, boy, she be on there. Boy, I don't like her in that wig, but
because she has that teacher wig on.
Hey, but they be acting their ass off on that.
They do.
And something else that we watched, man, is the Janet.
The Janet documentary.
Yeah,
listen.
Janet, man. If you ain't watched Janet, man, watch Janet. Like, we probably gonna spoil the shit out of it, and I apologize in advance. But it's probably shit you probably already knew anyway, so is it really spoiling?
But like, the Janet documentary, it was like 4 different parts. And it's funny because even the little trailer, I was like, oh, I'm gonna cry. I don't know where, but I'm gonna cry. And I did cry. I wept a little bit.
So what was the most interesting thing that you probably found out through the documentary?
The most interesting, like, I don't know if you would call it the most interesting, but I knew that her and Michael were close. Yeah. But looking at those home videos where it's just her and him and him being his silly self. I love seeing Michael Jackson be himself and be silly, and you don't see a lot of footage of that. So
especially when they was writing Scream.
When they were writing Scream, and it's just like, I just love seeing them kind of interact with each other. And you can tell that they're not these two mega superstars, but they're brother and sister.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I think what I loved the most about it was the fact that anytime she's around any of her brothers, you can she goes straight to little sister.
Yes. Mode. Not like, Janet Jackson, multi-million, artist and all that.
When she's by herself, it's Janet. Yo, I'm Janet. But when she's with them, she's like, because she put on that baby voice and she be batting her eyes.
She already got a baby voice.
But it'd be extra.
But yeah, you can definitely tell. Like, she kind of.
I think the most interesting thing for me, I guess it's not really interesting, but the fact that I want to say that she admitted that the last name Jackson is like a curse, like it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Where she was like, I mean, there's a lot of things that I would probably wanted to do, but I'm glad that I was able to get a lot of opportunities because of my name. But it's a lot of scrutiny that came with it.
And then the bags that stopped because of things that Michael was going through. And they were like, well, you're associated with him. It's not like they were living in the same house.
You knew that shit.
But because that's his sister, she probably knows about it and is okay with it, so we're going to stop her bag too. That's the part that I really hated because she really just wanted to kind of do her own thing. But it's funny, I didn't know that Joe pretty much just made her do it.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then next thing you know, it's like, oh, this is my life.
Like, I kind of want to go to college. He was like, nah, fuck that.
Right.
You finna do this album.
But it's funny because it doesn't make, I don't want to say I hated him, but you always heard, oh, Joe Jackson was so strict and so, he made them do this and this and that. But it made me understand a little bit more about him. So I don't necessarily dislike him.
It made me realize that he traded his fatherhood to be a businessman.
And it was really for his kids. He wanted them to have more than what he
was
had.
Like, I ain't going back to that steel mill, so y'all niggas
I get it. I get it. But it worked out. It's different if it didn't, but it worked out. So that 4-part little mini
they ain't gonna be like,
is really good.
Oh boy, they be singing out on, never mind.
Don't do it. Whatever. I know, don't do it.
But it's good to see that, like, Janet, like, she gives. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she gave people opportunities. Like, even Jermaine Dupri, like, dog.
It gave me a little bit more. I didn't know they were together for as long as they were together.
I didn't think they were together.
I don't remember that because I was younger, but yeah, he messed up. He cheated on Janet.
He said, we was together longer than she was married.
And I know she was married for like 9 years.
Yeah, 9 years.
So I'm like, wait.
Damn.
I don't know. But I didn't think we were together to me anyways.
I don't know, man.
Everybody got somebody, but still.
I seen it a little bit.
Okay.
But it's crazy how much she looked like Michael.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
different stages of, well, you know how I always say, if two people have the same mom and daddy, they're gonna look alike. That's how science works.
I was gonna say
but it's just, she looked like, there were pictures where I'm like, wait, is that Jen or is that Michael? That's how much they looked alike.
I didn't realize she had like a couple of albums before I even knew who she was.
Well, yeah.
Because I remember like Rhythm Nation.
Because we were like young. So yeah, we would.
Like even now as a grown person, like I didn't know she had other albums before Rhythm Nation.
Right. No, babe, she had some before.
Damn, I see you, Janet, girl, do your thing, baby. Anyway, what's on your mind for the week, though?
So, there's so much going on, and, we like to talk about, like, friendships and, as we get older, how friendships change and things like that. And, sometimes we forget to check on the strong friend. Okay. Or some of us are the strong friend. And so when I say strong friend, what I mean is they're the ones that are usually the most compassionate. They're always there when you need them.
Yeah.
They're always motivating you and giving you advice. And to you, their life looks perfect and there's nothing wrong with it. But
if I had what that boy had, boy, I'd be
right. Or you're the go-to guy. You're the go-to person. You're the go-to friend.
Yeah. Everybody come to you for advice.
When they're going through it or when they need some type of assistance. And there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes we fail to check in on, just like everyone else is going through something. What about your strong friend? Because they don't even get the chance to say what's going on with them because you're too busy dumping on them.
Oh, you know what? I never thought about it like that.
And I feel like there are some people who are because, the older you get, your friends may not always necessarily be the same set of 4 people like, TV shows want you to think. Because, for example, me, I have different friend groups. So in one friend group, I may be the strong friend. In another friend group, I may be the one that's doing all the dumping.
I ain't going to say needy.
Yeah, but the one that I'm always discussing what's going on with me and not checking in or knowing what's going on with the others or that one person.
So how do you think you think like strong people know that they the strong person in the group?
Yeah.
Like, cause let's, for example, I know that people like call and instantly they're like, hey, what are you doing? I ain't gonna say they're asking how you doing. They be like, hey man, I got this going on. Let me talk to you. And they just rambling and don't even bother like if you at work or if you're busy or if you're doing anything. Hey, I need to talk to you right now.
The strong friend knows because as soon as depending on who you're talking about, what friend of theirs you're talking about, you automatically know, they know, I know everything that's going on with their life, but they know very little of what's going on.
They don't even know where I work at.
Right. Or they don't know that you've been struggling with A, B, C, or D for I don't know how long, but they're always the one constantly having problems. Or, we're adults, we may not be able to talk every day, but every time I do talk to you, it's because you're going through something and you need advice.
Oh yes,
right. And also those friends tend to think that you have it all together. So you definitely don't want to make it seem like you don't have it all together, because it kind of helps you cope with the fact that there is a fucking circus going on in your life.
And then also I feel like you may not want to like disclose what's going on to that person because you already know their life is in shambles and they can't offer you.
So you're like, you know what? Let me just shut up because either A, this isn't as bad.
Your life is in shambles, dude.
Or I'd rather help them deal with their shit than tell them my shit.
Yeah.
So
I can't help anyway, nigga. They just bought $20 for gas.
And you know. And you know, being the strong friend, that can also lead to different mental health issues too. That can cause you to have like low self-esteem or depression because you may feel inadequate because you're not able to do for yourself, give yourself that type of motivation and advice that you do for others.
Or cause you to like withdraw.
Right, or cause you to withdraw because you don't want anyone to see you fail. You don't want them to see you look bad. So you may have to retreat for a little bit.
They put me on a pedestal.
And then you and that's another thing. You know, I'm all for, you know, motivating your friends and lifting people up. Yeah. But don't make them feel that they're on such a pedestal that they can't be wrong.
Because that's hard. That's a heavy burden to carry.
It is. Because everyone wants to appear perfect. So if you already have people that believe that shit, you're like, okay, well, I gotta keep this image.
And then they probably secretly want you to fail. And you be like, so you can't give them that satisfaction either. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You like, I know that nigga want me to fail, but I ain't gonna do it.
Right. But again, you know, check in on those strong friends. So some people are like, well, how do you even help a strong friend? Because usually the strong friend is not going to volunteer information.
Yeah. And they're not going to ask you either.
Like, you know, when you talk on the phone and when you say, hey girl, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. Okay, but no, how are you? What's good? You know, what do you have good going on? What, you know, is there anything going on? So you saying they need to,
I ain't gonna say like pry a little bit, but maybe like,
if your friends like that, then yeah. Ask, you know,
more or pay more attention to the things that they may say, because they may give a little bit of insight to actually how they are truly feeling versus to what they say.
Or instead of just a generic "how are you doing," or be like, "Oh, so how are you and Hater doing?"
Oh, I'm straight.
You know, how's work? You know, how's it? And it's funny because that's one of the ways I kind of know who my true friends are, because my true friends will literally be like, "How are you and Hater doing? How's work? How's your mental health right now?" I have friends that ask me, "How's your mental health right now?" And when I tell you, whenever they ask me that, if I'm doing good, I'll be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe they asking." Or if I'm not having a good moment, I'm like, "Girl, oh my God, my depression has got me today." It actually gets me to talk.
Like, girl, who told you that?
Right. So yeah, just kind of don't just let them get away with those generic responses. If you feel like you're always telling them what's going on, kind of do a self check and be like, wait, do I know what's going on with it? Do I
even bother to ask?
Let me take a pause. Yes, do I even bother to ask? Let me see how they're really doing.
Do I even ask if they're busy?
Right.
Or do I just start talking as soon as they answer the phone?
Right. And then also if you know that your friends, and a lot of the friends who tend to withdraw, that's for a while and then all of a sudden they pop up, that's a red flag. You need to check on them.
I think I'm never withdraw friend.
I do that. I definitely do that. And it's funny because my friends know it's different if I'm kind of withdrawing because I'm just really more busy.
Yeah.
Versus they just don't hear anything.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I guess it do matter like what kind of withdrawal too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
if they know you're busy, you're still posting on social media, but you're posting on social media that you're doing this and this and that. That's different. But if it's like, wait, I haven't heard of them on social media. He
ain't responding to texts.
I've texted
I ain't even seen him go green. Boy, I better go check on him.
Definitely check on him. You know, also just kind of if you haven't before, check in with them and just be like, you know, I just want to let you know I appreciate you for always listening to my mess, girl. And tell me what's going on with you. Or how about tonight? We're not gonna talk about any drama tonight. I want to talk about you, or we're gonna make tonight about you.
I always think it's important to tell people you appreciate them.
Yes, give them
especially if you come to them a lot and you guys talk about a lot of different things together. I think it's important to tell that person you appreciate them, especially if it's a lot of you.
Right.
Because I know there's a few people that I talk to about a lot of heavy shit. Mm-hmm. And I'll be like, and every once in a while I'll be like, say, dude, I really appreciate you. Listening to me. I ain't gonna say bitching. But you appreciate taking the time to listen.
Or letting me vent or whatever the case may be. Because just like you may be going through a lot, your friend may be going through a whole lot. You may not know it, but literally everybody at this age is definitely going through some type of struggle.
You also got to think that sometimes that negative energy may transfer to the person that you dump it on.
Right.
Because, they may be in a, I ain't going to say in a low spot, but they could be in a spot to where they're not completely stable. And then when you call and just jump off the bridge, they like, damn, I mean, life is bad, so I'm out.
No, don't jump. Don't do it.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah. But definitely switching it up and being that listening ear. Because like I said, I'm usually the strong friend, but I had a moment where I was like, I have to call somebody and I have to tell them. And I was on the phone, I was bawling, I was crying, and they were just like, whoa, I didn't even know all this was going on. So now, it's funny because now I think that kind of made them realize, you know what? Things aren't always perfect for me and they're not always perfect for her. Yeah. So let me make sure to check in on her if I haven't heard from her in a while. And it's good. It's very good. Especially, I already battled depression and anxiety anyways. But it definitely helps to know that, yeah, your friends are going through it, but you can go through it and you can kind of vent to them and then y'all can kind of help each other. Yeah. It's okay to be, I don't want to say weak, but it's okay to let your guard down.
It's okay to be vulnerable.
Definitely okay to be vulnerable.
With your friends. Don't be vulnerable with everybody.
Yeah, no, because that's how you get stuck in the Ponzi scheme.
They'll use that shit against you. I promise
they
you.
Will. They will. Another thing that this is, if you don't have to do it, but a way, if you're usually the strong friend or in your friend group, if you have the group chat, you can do something as simple as like designate a certain emoji if you put it in text. Oh, that's like, I'm not really doing that great. Like the little blackface moon emoji. Or maybe like an umbrella, something like that. Or maybe prayer hand, something. To where you're just like, I want to let y'all know that everything's not good, but I don't want to just come out and say it either.
Yeah.
So that's another way to kind of let your friends know that you may be not having such a great time at the moment.
Perfect.
So yeah. So just check in on your strong friends. Just check in on them. You should be checking in with your friends anyways, but.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's tough too, right?
Yeah.
Like, cause everybody's like living their life.
Yeah. Like
it's doing their own thing. And you be like, I don't know if I'm interrupting.
Right.
But cause I have people like that too. Like I always say, there's a group of people that I hold close to me that I may not talk to every day. Mm-hmm. But every once in a while I shoot and be like, say, y'all okay? Y'all straight?
Especially if they randomly pop up on your mind. I feel like if somebody randomly comes up in your mind, you're like, I need to check on them.
My daddy told me that.
Yeah.
He's like, anytime somebody randomly pop up in your mind, you need to think about them. Because sometimes that means...
It's for a reason. You may not even know what the reason is. They may not even tell you, but you checking in on them may be that one moment where they're like, you know what? I'm good.
Or you just, I ain't going to say that I'm super spiritual like that. But sometimes you kind of know that somebody may be going through something, and then they just randomly pop on your mind. You be like, let me just shoot. It's nothing to shoot them a text. Right. Be like, say, man, you straight? You okay?
Or you can even initiate a conversation by being like, man, I was at the grocery store and I saw a bottle of Everclear, and I thought about the time that we did this and this and this and that. Try to like just kind of get them to think about happy times or something like that. Yeah. Again, to also initiate
because man, it's nice to know. Everybody know it's nice to know that people think about you.
Right.
Because we go through this thing sometimes and then we just kind of live and we just kind of go and you be like, yo, when I'm gone, man, that's it.
Right.
But then when people reach out and they be like, yo, dog, I miss you.
And you might not even realize that you've been withdrawn or been away
or that person even think about you and hold you in that high enough of regard.
Right.
But you know what I mean? But there may be a person that you like, oh, they just doing their thing, they strong, and I don't want to bother them.
Yeah.
But then when they could reach out and be like, yo, I'm thinking about you. It's
because even then, if like you said, even if it's a text, because you can easily read a text in the middle of being in a meeting or doing something else, and you may or may not respond. But even just receiving that text, that means that someone took the time out of their day to check on you, to reach out to you. So
you should do that in kind. Feeling. So the way that you people reach out to you, you should reach out to those same people to make sure they're okay.
Right.
I like that.
Anything else?
I don't know. I ain't got it.
You got nothing else?
I got nothing else.
Oh, okay.
But so let's do this. Since we talked about that, man, let's talk about this ice cream you got. Because we're going to do a review on this thing.
We are going to do our first official review of 2022. I got bars. And we're going to review the Little Debbie ice cream. The little snack ice cream.
Oatmeal cream
pie, honey bun, nutty butter.
Yeah, they got
strawberry shortcake,
zebra cake.
Zebra cakes and Swiss rolls. So we're going to do a review on those. So please check that video out. We're going to do our reviews a little different than what some people do because we know y'all don't got time for all the BS.
We're going to trim the fat.
Trim the pants. We're going to trim the fat and get straight to the reviews and see what Jay and Hater say about it. So that's going to be our first review of 2022. So please check that out.
Okay, yeah.
Also, Hater, weren't you a guest on something recently?
That's too early.
Too early? Oh.
Never
mind. I'm putting our business in the street.
Next week.
Okay, next week. Okay.
Next week, I got something to tell you.
Okay.
I can't talk about it right now.
Stay tuned, y'all. My bad. I'm sorry. I spoke out of turn.
So we're going to give you, do you have any petty words of wisdom?
Of course. So, the petty words of wisdom, I don't want to say they're too petty, but sometimes the person that always looks out for everybody is always alone when they need somebody. So, because if you're there for everybody, who's there for you? Because you're there for them.
That's
you gotta
true
think about it. So again,
so like if you got 3 friends and all those 3 friends always come to you, and you be like,
who's coming? Yeah, who can you run to?
That's true too. Yeah, boy.
But
if y'all always ask me for money, how am I ask y'all for money when y'all owe me money?
I'll treat y'all. So yeah, so that's
who gonna
it.
get me out of jail?
Right, you, because you the strong one. You got it. You big money. You got it. That's what they gonna say. Oh, you got it.
So I can't go to jail because I'm the strong.
You can't unless you got it to get out. Yep, that's it.
Tell me one more time.
The person that looks out for everybody is always alone when they need somebody. So if you know that there's a person that's always looking out for somebody, you may need to check in on them because probably going through it. Because y'all raggedy ass is bothering them all the time.
Yeah, boy. That's why I leave my phone on silent.
You know what? And it's funny. I used to be like, why is his phone always on silent? Now my phone is always on silent. I don't want to hear no notifications.
Believe it
I don't want to hear nothing.
Haters not at home. Leave
at home. He just ain't touching the phone.
At the beat. I may be out, or I pick up the phone. Where could I be?
Looking at the phone, waiting for it to start.
Believe it or not, nigga, I'm not home.
You are at home. You just ain't picking up the phone. So yeah, that's all I have. But you can always find us at www.jandhater.com or also on the social medias on Instagram at JDuce.
You can find your boy Lord Hater.
And then again, you can also find us on Facebook. But and then YouTube,
we on YouTube
for our videos because we're doing this review. We doing it.
We're doing it.
Right after this, we're doing it.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Say, man, and also we want to put a bug in your ear while we already kind of here too, man. It's coming up. March is usually the month that we usually kind of
take a break.
We just want to let you know, man, that it's coming. You know what I mean? We got a couple of more episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of narrowing down. We got a few things we're gonna take care of.
But we
might have a name change.
Name change?
We might. We discussed it. But I'm just saying we might. It's going to be the same great show. Maybe a new name. We don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
With some new panties. That's all.
You know what? We was thinking about changing all this shit up.
Yeah, but you'll see. You'll see when we come back.
But we got a couple of episodes, and we'll talk about that at a later time.
Of course.
But it's something that you might want to see. You can reach out to us. You can hit us up. You can email us.
At jandhater@gmail.com.
Yeah, man.
Pretty easy. All right. Well, you don't have nothing else, Hater?
I don't think I got nothing else, man. Hey, one more thing.
I ain't got nothing else, but
watch the Tinder Swindler.
The Tinder Swindler. You know what? That should almost be its own other video. The Tinder Swindler on Netflix. Simon is a bad mamma jamma boy.
Shimon?
Simon.
Ain't that what Michael Jackson said?
No, he said
so that was Michael Jackson's character.
That was not Michael Jackson. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to us. We appreciate you. And if nothing else, always remember to protect your peace.
Hey.
Bye, y'all.